Wisdom. What is it and where does it come from? So I'm very present to a saying, beware unearned wisdom. And that is because people who believe that they have wisdom and are passing it on are actually doing something even more dangerous than people who just admit that they don't know, admit that they don't have the experience to advise you or not. They can be guiding themselves and misguiding you as well based on knowledge, not on wisdom. So, what is the difference? Well, knowledge is something that you learn maybe from a book or from it, hearing from somebody else that did this thing in the past. Wisdom comes from the experience of you actually doing that thing yourself, you living through the experience, you earning the wisdom, not just knowing how to do something, but taking that thing in your hands and physically making it, or actually having the conversation, actually owning the business, actually writing the book, actually um, building the piece of furniture and learning that that type of joint doesn't work for that type of project. So wisdom is recognizing what actually works. It's not just theoretical. Knowledge is very theoretical and in your head, and wisdom is hands-on, learned, earned, and it comes from applying that knowledge, applying those things that you learned, and actually putting them to use. Someone can know a lot about something, but having never done it themselves, they don't really understand why it's important to do that thing a certain way. And this is where stagnation comes in, people just passing things down, and getting disconnected from the why. We talked about that before with calcification, where people aren't connected with the why anymore. So they're just doing things to be doing things. At that point, it becomes knowledge rather than wisdom, because you can have wisdom that you don't have to necessarily experience firsthand yourself. The person who was connected with the why and the experience can give you that wisdom as well. So it can be inherited, it can be passed down. However, it seems like it's my experience that once it is so many generations down the line, it gets forgotten. Um, and knowledge is something that is along this continuum from, wisdom is from this continuum of not really knowing to being wise. And someone who is wise will understand where they are on that continuum, where they are on that spectrum. If it is at that point, time in their life to listen to someone and receive from someone who's further along on that aspect, on that journey, or if you've just met someone who hasn't come quite as far on you, and it's time to give that wisdom and allow that other person to receive and come further along on the journey as well. So it is a spectrum. Um, I, I really resonated with the wisdom is free to receive and very expensive to ignore. So when you have someone who is wise and who has taken the time and sees that you're ready to receive this wisdom and pass it on to you, it is beyond measurable. What's the word I want? Uh, Valuable to listen and to receive to that wisdom rather than ignore it. Wisdom.